So when we're talking about competitors, things like generics, biosimilars, with loss of exclusivity and things like that, because obviously, inevitably, when generics and biosimilars are launched, most healthcare systems are going to be motivated to prioritize cost containment and optimize the value that they're getting for their money. Um, there are obviously many things that companies can do to try and prepare for this and to make sure that they're ready for these competitive dynamics. So firstly, I suppose the most important thing is really to understand the market dynamics. How are different healthcare systems likely to respond to the introduction of new and potentially lower cost entrants to the market? What are the key drivers in those markets? Are they purely cost? Are they related to outcomes, clinical experience, real world use of the originator product? What are those drivers, and try and really understand those? And if it is cost, which we do see in quite a lot of markets, understand what are the mechanisms of cost containment that might be applied, and how can you prepare for these? What do they look at? Is it pure cost? Are there outcomes related elements to it? So it's really about understanding what are those individual market dynamics. Also, it's obviously really important to for keeping an eye on market intelligence and competitive landscaping. So systematically monitoring pipelines, trial data releases, regulatory milestones, and pricing trends of comparators to make sure that early action can be taken, and benchmarking clinical data and identify potential areas for differentiation early really helps prepare for those new market entrants. One thing that's really important to think about is the post-launch evidence generation. So invest in real-world evidence studies that demonstrate the value of the product versus newer entrants, and things like registries, and if appropriate and feasible, conducting head-to-head studies or indirect treatment comparisons to demonstrate superiority if possible. Obviously, that's not necessarily always appropriate, but something that could be considered. Other things that are less, I suppose, the perhaps added value things that we've seen used quite a lot in the past is things like support programs being used for patients or healthcare professionals. So developing medical education, data sharing platforms, and ongoing patient support or healthcare provider support, and really demonstrate the real world experience and value of the product, and to differentiate the originator brand. We've seen manufacturers offer wraparound services, so things like adherence programs, nurse helplines, really helps enhance that product stickiness and differentiate beyond just the molecule.